My name is Karl Monahan. It is Friday. This is a Friday takeaway. These are bite-sized snippets of information from my clinic, focusing on research, focusing on what I see with my patients, focusing on what I'm telling my patients at the moment as well. These are little guides, if you like, to help to meet some of the challenges that you're likely to experience as a patient going through this, or indeed as a clinician, and things that you might be finding in your clinic. So we've been looking at the pelvic floor, we've been looking at pelvic floor dysfunction, and we're going to take a little break from that. We will go back, don't worry, because there's lots still to unpack there. But we're going to do a mini series on flare-ups. So you're going to get 3 short podcasts from me on navigating flare-ups. Flare-ups are the most common occurrence in all pelvic pain cases. And when I start working with a patient, the very first thing I say to them is, you're going to get flare-ups. I'd much rather be fully transparent. I'd much rather let people know straight away what they're likely to anticipate and expect. Full transparency is important. I think it's really important to be honest with a patient so that there is no uncertainty or less uncertainty. So here's a question for you. What percentage of flare-ups have you overcome to date? Have you overcome 10% of the flare-ups you've had? What about 25% of the flare-ups you've ever had? Or maybe it's 50%, maybe 50% of all the flare-ups you've overcome. More on this in just a moment. So what is a flare-up? Let's first of all define what a flare-up is. A flare-up is an increase in sensitivity of your symptoms above baseline. Now, for some people, they may go, their baseline may be no symptoms. For other patients, their symptoms might be there all the time, every day, without exception. And then a flare-up is an increase in those baseline symptoms above and beyond what might be considered normal. And this might last for a few minutes, it might last for a few hours, or days, or weeks, or indeed months as well. I'm being fully transparent with you. They are often incredibly distressing, full of uncertainty, full of anxiety, and leave a patient feeling very, very unsettled. And if you're having a flare-up, or if you've ever had a flare-up, you'll know exactly what this feels like. I too had pelvic pain in my mid-20s, and whenever I had a flare-up, I felt that I was never going to overcome the condition, that I was never going to get any further, and what was the point? I didn't seem to have any control over what was going on. So they can leave you feeling very, very unsettled. A flare-up is a normal response. All right, as deeply unpleasant as they are, a flare-up is a normal response. It's your body's, it is your body's way of protecting you. And I know that sounds like a paradox. How can my body be protecting me if it's giving me more pain? Well, a flare-up is likely to be an indicator that perhaps you've done something too much, or done a range of things too much. And our body increases our sensitivity, our symptoms, in order for us to be distracted away from continuing that activity at the same level. Or it is our body's way of forcing ourselves to rest and reduce activity levels. I know that's unpleasant. I know that's a really, really deep paradox there as well. But your body's trying to protect you. Right, and it's already starting from, your body's already starting from a place of sensitivity. So it doesn't take much for it to be more sensitized. Think about, I guess a parallel I can draw here is if you get sunburn on your skin and then you go back out into the sun, it's much more sensitive, and that's your body's way of protecting you. Even if you are, I'm doing this in London today, so if there's any background noise, I'm really, really sorry. I'm on a very busy corner here in London, so if there is anything else you can hear, I do apologise. But again, I'd much rather be fully transparent with you. Or you've got a sunburn and you go in a shower, and the shower is not hot; it's warm, but your skin is sensitive. All right, same kind of thing, similar-ish principles. I'm just trying to draw a parallel here, just to illustrate that it's a normal physiological response to sensitivity, and your body is, remember, trying to protect you. So, any thoughts on what percentage of flare-ups you've overcome to date? So I want you to remember, you will overcome 100% of flare-ups. They will all go. If you can listen to your body, make some changes, not avoid, and there'll be a little bit more on this in an upcoming podcast episode, but 100% of your flare-ups will pass. Nothing lasts forever. I'm hugely fascinated and very much into Eastern philosophy. This phenomena is called impermanence. Nothing in nature stays exactly the same as it is ever. It's impossible. We cannot stay in a state of heightened sensitivity. And we can facilitate that, and that can help the flare-up pass even quicker. But I want you to be reassured, and I want you to remember that 100% of your flare-ups will pass. To help this happen, we have put together a flare-up survival guide that I'm going to put a link to in this podcast episode, the blurb underneath it. So do check it out, do click on it, do register for the information. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. It is a multi-point guide to overcoming flare-ups, including a range of tools and techniques to help you overcome this deeply unpleasant, often very disturbing experience as well. But I want to normalize it for you. Everyone, absolutely everyone who goes through this condition will flare up. It's normal. It's not nice, but I guarantee 100% of flare-ups will pass. Check out the flare-up survival guide to help you navigate your flare-up more successfully more of the time. My name's Karl Monahan. This is a Pelvic Pain Natters podcast, helping you to navigate your pelvic pain condition, giving you hints and tips and guides and support and kind words and encouragement and coaching and mentoring and all of the above. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you found it beneficial. You can email me at pelvicpainmatters@gmail.com, or you can comment on the podcast provider that you are currently watching on this on or listening to it on. There'll be an opportunity for you to give us some feedback there. If you found it helpful and you feel that other people who are going through what you're going through would also benefit, please do share. My name's Karl Monahan. I'm the owner of the Pelvic Pain Clinic and founder of Pelvic Pain Matters, and this has been a Friday Takeaway.